Hey friends, it's Elizabeth Morse with Cooking Out of the Box from Pantry to Plate, and tonight I'm going to show you an easy way to roast chicken. You can use whatever chicken you have. I happen to have a whole bird today. It's about 3.5 pounds, and this is super simple. You're going to need a few ingredients. I have some potatoes, so I have about 3 potatoes chopped up. I had some frozen leeks from my my freezer, which are kind of a green onion, and so I'm going to use some of those just to kind of use them up. And carrots, and you can see I've got those all prepped right here. And the other things I need are chicken, either bone-in, boneless, whatever your family likes. Again, I've got a whole bird. I like to use those because they're pretty cost saving. I get one meal out of them, and then when the carcass is done, I kind of pick the bones over that night, get all the extra chicken off, and then the next day, or maybe even that night, I boil the carcass and get some really great chicken broth out of it, and then I add pull the bones out, put the chicken back in that I had picked off, and add some dumplings or noodles, and that makes a whole second meal for my crew. So anyway, that was just a side note. So you're gonna need the veggies that I mentioned. If you have an onion you wanna use, that would be great. Again, I use the leeks. You need a package of ranch dip. This I really like. I mix the two together. This is a spice blend by Weber. It's called Kickin' Chicken. And then also some olive oil. I happen to have a little bit of this rosemary olive oil that I'm gonna use up, but normally I would just use plain. And then of course you need a bird. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to get a baking dish. I'm gonna put all of these veggies. I'm gonna start and put the potatoes down and then kind of mix everything up. I'll show you when it gets done here, what that looks like. And then I like to use the chicken on top because the veggies sort of act like a wrap. They raise the chicken up off of the bottom of the pan. And then, so I've got this. So the bird's gonna sit here, and as it cooks, some of the the juices from the baking chicken will kind of marinate the roasting veggies, and it's very delicious. So the only thing I'm gonna do to the veggies is put a tiny drizzle of olive oil on them, because remember, they are gonna get all of the seasoning and the fat that drips off the chicken, and that's gonna be really flavorful. So I just really truly drizzled a tiny smidge there. And hang on one second, I'll be right back with the bird. Okay, I'm back and I've got my chicken. You can see I'm using a whole one. It's got skin on. And I'm gonna just lower the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. There we go. Okay, so I am just patting the skin of the bird. I want it to be pretty dried off so that when I put my olive oil and my seasonings on, that they stick really nicely. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take, and I'm only using this thing that I just used to touch chicken because I'm gonna throw this bottle away here in a minute. Well, maybe I can't even get it. Oh, there we go. Can't even get it open. So I'm gonna drizzle the olive oil on the bird. And you can use butter if you like. I like olive oil. I'm gonna rub this all over this bird. And then I'm going to try and keep my hands clean. You don't wanna touch stuff with raw chicken. Like I'll probably have to wipe that jar off really well after I use it. Okay, so here's my ranch seasoning, and I'm gonna sprinkle that on top. I'm gonna actually sprinkle a tiny bit inside this bird just so it can flavor up the meat that's inside there. Okay, and I'm gonna just rub this all over. I love roast chicken. I actually like roast chicken better than I like roasted turkey, if the truth be told. Okay, so there you see. Now, I'm gonna make this guy go breast up, which is here. You see the difference? Wings are in the back, breast is up. So I'm gonna set this right on top of my veggies. And then I'm gonna sprinkle the rest of this package. There's not a ton left. Kind of around on the veggies and the rest on the top of the bird. So it gets nice and seasoned. Excellent. This is such a good way to really make a delicious meal. and it's easy. The ranch packet really kind of takes the guesswork out of getting your seasonings right. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna throw all this stuff away. I used the rest of my olive oil. I'm gonna jump over to the sink and wash my hands really fast. Then I'm gonna come back, show you the last step, and we're gonna put it in the oven. Okay, so I've got the bird in here, got clean hands, and I just wanted to clean them off before I touched my this is almost a brand new jar of spices, so I didn't want it to get yucky with those raw chicken germs. But I've got my bird, I've got the oven set to 425, and I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of this kickin' chicken, and I'm not gonna go crazy because it is a little bit spicy, and that's what I've got. I'm gonna put this bad boy into the oven. It's just on bake, 425. I'm gonna check it after an hour. As I said, I think this bird is between 3 and 4 pounds, and it'll probably need an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. But depending on what cut of chicken you choose, you're gonna wanna just make sure that you maybe, when you think it's done, just take a little knife and cut into a piece of the chicken in the thickest part, and the juices should run clear, and then you'll know that it's done. I'm gonna check this guy. I'm gonna set a timer and check it about halfway through, because sometimes I like to drizzle like a tiny bit more olive oil or maybe even a pat of butter on the top, because I really like the crust and the skin to get nice and golden brown. So anyway, I will show you what it looks like when it comes out, and let me know if you give this a try. Okay, there it is. Looks good. It's going in the oven. Again, I'm going to check it in about half an hour, but I anticipate it taking about an hour for this bird, maybe an hour and 20 minutes. So we'll come back in just a little bit and see what it looks like.